To you is that I've noticed that religious leaders are not very much involved in government, and that is a sad part to me, and it plays a big role in our community and also in South Africa. And I would like to know from you, sir, how would you implement that religious leaders get more involved in government to help South Africa with our plight in poverty and also our youth? Thank you.
I must say I have been receiving quite a lot of approaches from religious leaders who say that they would like to work hand in glove with government on a number of issues, including poverty alleviation and addressing poverty in general, and we welcome this. And the President himself has, over time, taken time out to meet religious leaders, and going forward, this is going to be more strengthened so that we should interact at close range with religious leaders. That we will do because we have, as a country, a high regard for the role that religious leaders play in the body politic of our country. And indeed, the proposal or the suggestion that you're making is something that can be taken forward quite easily so that they are more actively involved. I mean, you will have seen that in various occasions that we have, be they official occasions, even with the military, there's a chaplain there, even in the ruling party, the religious leaders play a key role in, if you like, getting the event started and officiating. So they have a special place to play, a role to play, and we will consolidate that and make sure that it is upgraded with time as we go on. But thank you very much for your suggestion.
Mr. Deputy President, here's a question I'm going to put to you, because you've actually worn both hats. One hat, fighting for the rights of workers in your union days, and then the other as an employer, as an entrepreneur. The President yesterday spoke about this untenable labor relations environment that we're in at the moment, and I'm just wondering, a lot of the adversarial nature between labor and employers at the moment is somewhat reminiscent of a bygone era. What has gone wrong? What can be done to fix this? It's almost like an us and them scenario, and what's happening now is that the rest of the country, the economy, is being taken hostage because what's happening between employer and employee is affecting everybody now. How do we fix this? You talk about social partners, but this is a pressing issue, isn't it?
It is a pressing issue, and the problems and challenges that we're facing now call upon all of us as South Africans to address the problems, both as government, business, and other social partners. We do need to pay attention to some of these processes that lead to strife, that lead to lack of consensus. We are a nation of consensus builders. We've built consensus on a whole range of what people regarded as intractable problems. We were able to do so even prior to 1994. 1994 consolidated this culture of building consensus. And something has gone wrong and it has broken down. And we now need to begin the process of rebuilding that. It's not necessary between labor and business that the relationship should be so strife-fraught. It is possible to have a relationship that is based on consensus building, and that is based on reaching agreement. Much as they may be coming from two different points of view, they should be able to reach agreement. So therefore, the President was calling for a new dispensation to be unleashed and to be started, and we believe that this is imminently possible, and we need to reduce the gulf and the gap between the interests of all parties that are involved in any undertaking, be it in the workplace or wherever else. And I believe that it is possible to do so. We can return to those days where consensus building becomes the order of the day, a culture.
Are you saying that we've seen the worst of it? Because it really has been a terrible last 12 months.
I would like to believe that maybe we are at the deep end right now, and the only way to go should be up, where we will begin to step back and reflect on where we've been to. And the president himself, in relation to the mining industry, is going to be leading that process. And we will be able to gain more traction in as far as that is concerned.
All right. Leanne?
All right, thanks very much, Peter. Well, I think one of the points that we noticed within the State of the Nation last night was a massive focus on the economy, which I think the Deputy President, you have really emphasized this morning, particularly in your address, and spoken a lot more about it. But energy was also one of the biggest issues that the President brought up. Now, we've got the Minister who's in charge of all of that, Minister Tina Joemat-Petersen. Firstly, congratulations on your appointment, and welcome to this business breakfast.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the opportunity. Good morning, Honourable Deputy President and your viewers. Peter, the responsibility for the energy sector is enormous, and that responsibility is to grow the economy. Team Energy has come out. We are energized as a Team Energy. I have a Deputy Minister. Our Deputy Minister is here, Madam Majola. And I think you could also stand so that people can be introduced to you.
Yes.
It's wonderful to have a deputy. We realize that the growth of our economy is vested in the work that we have to do. The President highlighted a number of areas that we are responsible for. What we do know is that there's an element of policy certainty that is developing. We are certain now that we will include nuclear energy in our energy mix. We are certain that we will include gas. And that certainty has been long overdue. The independent power producers have their marching orders. The energy mix will include green energy from wind energy, solar energy, and our responsibility in the continent and in the global context has been spelled out. We have to move on the Grand Inga, hence our understanding of the role we play in the continent. Eskom straddles two departments. It straddles the Department of Public Enterprises as well as the Energy Department. A greater coherence has already developed, and a greater sense of working together as a collective has already developed between the Department of Minister Lynn Brown and the Department of Energy. So we understand that an intervention in Eskom is critically important. That's essential. Our main objective is to keep the lights on.
Round of applause. Please, because I think that's what everyone wants to hear.
This challenge is going to be the challenge of our country. Eskom is the only company that I know that asks people not to use its product. Most companies sell their product and ask you to buy and use their product. But in Eskom, we ask you to use our product sparingly. And each and every South African has a responsibility to switch the lights off when you are not using it. We also have a responsibility to use green energy. The solar heaters and the rollout of solar heater energy has been successful. So we have to build on the success stories of solar energy and wind energy in the Northern Cape, expand it to provinces, ensure that transmission lines are there for electricity, and that we maintain those transmission lines. We cannot allow vandalism in our country any longer. And any service delivery strike cannot be accompanied by vandalism. This is just costing the taxpayer more and more money. It is globally accepted that energy is a scarce resource and renewable energy is the way to go. The energy mix has been spelled out by the President. I had calls from farmers to say, now that you've left agriculture, you've forgotten about biofuels. On the contrary, biofuels are included. Finally, Honorable Deputy President, if we do not want to be criticized, we should do nothing, say nothing, and we should be nothing. So because we are doing something as a country, we should expect to be criticized. So Team Energy, they are around the table right here with me. We are committed to doing something about the energy mix. What we have to do is to move South Africa forward and again, keep the lights on. As simple as that.
Thank you very much, Minister.
Deputy President just wants to add to that.
No, what I wanted to do is to follow up, and I hope people listen very carefully to what the President said about two areas of energy source. Shale gas. Shale gas, he said in his statement, this has been recognized as a game changer for a number of other economies. Now, we've got shale gas by the bucket loads. And obviously, the legislation is being rolled out to make sure that when we do exploit it, we exploit it properly and carefully in line with our environmental stewardship and all that. But in other countries, it has changed the economic landscape of a number of countries, and this is the direction that we want to take. Nuclear energy as well. Now, the cascading effect of this initiative is going to be the manufacturing components of all the processes that are involved in exploiting these two energy sources. And therefore, when we say economic growth is going to be the new game in our country for transformation purposes, this is precisely one area where we're going to see the downstream, the cascading effect that will be yielded by these initiatives that we will be embarking upon.
Okay. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to continue.